Alright, today is July the 8th, 2016, and we're watching the Northeast Pacific water vapor loop. Right now at about 9 a.m. we have a temperature of 68 degrees in Los Angeles, in the foothills. The relative humidity is about 63%, and the barometer is reading 30 inches even, and we have a dew point of 55.7 degrees. And we're keeping an eye here on Hurricane Blas, right here. Blas is weakened substantially overnight. We now have 100-mile-per-hour winds on that storm. Let's take a look at the hurricane map right now. And we have Blas with 100-mile-per-hour winds, core pressure of 974 millibar, moving west-northwest at 10 miles per hour, Category 2 storm. So that storm has been hit overnight by microwave. We can see the disorganization in the core, the undulation of the storm bands. The thing has been hit with microwave. We can take a look at the visible light map here in a second. In the meantime, we can see this upper level low has continued to develop some moisture around the periphery of the core there. We can see that spinning counterclockwise. The mission here is to destroy this storm, to weaken it so that we don't have a merging of this low pressure area right here. This is an upper level low. This is also an upper level low. Obviously, this is a hurricane. And we have another storm right here, which is named Celia, which just formed this morning, actually. They identified this storm as Celia, which is got 45-mile-per-hour winds, core pressure of 1,003 millibar, and moving west at 9 miles per hour. So we'll keep an eye on that storm as well. This is a fairly large area of thunderstorms. It actually looks like there's two separate systems. They are only showing one, but we will keep an eye on that. We still have high pressure in this area, which has slowed that storm down. We can see some of the tail of this system moving up towards Baja California, Mexico, right there. And we do have some flow into Central California. We can see that on the map here. And there's an upper level low right up in this area, right near the Washington and Oregon area. And so I believe that this storm will be wiped out here in the next day or two because of this problem here. Got two low pressures right here, so we don't want to see these merge, and that would create a much larger storm. We also have a low way out over this area right here, which has a transmitter on it. The transmitter is affecting the jet stream flow. We can see the flow mushrooming right into the area of high pressure, which has been installed on top of that core. Let's take a look at the rainbow loop. We can see that broad channel that has been installed by that high pressure over the top of that upper level low right there. That is affecting the jet stream. We can see the turn that jet stream is having to make. So this weather manipulation affects a lot of different factors here. We have storms that cannot develop and deliver rain. We have a jet stream that's being manipulated and re-steered. And then we have another transmitter right on top of this low. We can see the evaporation, the channel of dry air right around the core of that system. If we go back to the water vapor loop, we can see that low spinning. And then we have a transmitter right in this area, and that is causing this a large channel of dry air. It's evaporating all that jet stream moisture. And of course, Southern California is dry as a bone. We've actually been having cooler weather. I have not seen any aerosols in the skies. However, the people that live in the mountain areas near Wrightwood and Big Bear and that area have reported very recently that there's been chemtrails out in the desert areas behind Los Angeles, further east of Los Angeles. So we like to hear that information. That's always valuable to hear that. But out here in LA proper and in the foothill areas, I have not seen any real chemtrail activity. On the 4th of July, we had a lot of skywriting by planes doing skywriting. That stuff, when it spreads out, it looks kind of like chemtrail mix, but that was actually skywriting. All right, let's take a look at the other maps here. We have the East Pacific water vapor loop. We can see the disorganization of the core of this storm right here. This is Blas, and the core is no longer has an eyewall. That's been the storm has been hit hard by microwave, and we'll take a look at that. We can see the development here of Celia trying to get organized. This storm is also being hit all over the place in the core here by microwave. We'll take a look at that. Let's look at the rainbow loop, the infrared loop. We can see the intensity of the cores of these storm systems right here. And the bands on this system are all disorganized. This was hit overnight fairly hard. Yesterday we had 120 mile per hour winds. Actually, they were 125, and they've been gradually winding this system down because of this upper level low nearby. Let's go back again and take a look. Got, right here, we've got this problem right here, and the weather controllers will kill this off before these two systems will merge. So we've got high pressure in between, and that's the most important thing. What's happening here, of course, Southern California is being nothing is getting into Southern California at the moment. That may change. Let's take a look at the visible light mode. We can see the photoshopping work right here. That's all Photoshop. We can see it here as well, and also in the core of this thunderstorm area right there. So that's very crude photoshopping, but it does demonstrate that some effort is being made to hide the evidence of microwave blast. But if we get the night to day transition, we can see a huge crater right here, which expands outward. We can see a lot of dimples throughout this area. Let's just go ahead and scroll through. We can see these little dimples like right here, right in this area as well. Right up there. Right up here. And all up in this area as well. This area they're hitting because this is moving up towards California. Let's go ahead and roll this, and then I'll show you this area right up in here where they're targeting that. There's something here that's developing, and if we go back to the right here, we can actually see a shock wave right there on the infrared loop. There was some development right in this area, and they're killing that off before that moves up into Southern Californian waters. So the pattern holds true once again. Now this would bring some rain if they let this flow up into our area, but they're not letting any rain in. That's been the pattern. Let's look at some of these pressure maps, and then we'll just do another update later. Here's the sea level pressure. We can see the high is installed out here in the eastern Pacific. We have a low right over Nevada and Utah indicated. Upper level low right off of British Columbia. All right, let's take a look at the 500 millibar. We have an upper level low right here, and we have low pressure indicated right out over this area. This is just northwest of that hurricane Blas. There's a high indicated right in this area. We only have, let's see if we can get a full map. There we go. All right. Okay, so we have an upper level low out over here. Let's take a look at the 300 millibar map. And you can see the upper level low right here. This is right near that hurricane. And it will be interesting to see what they do to prevent the merging of those two systems. If you go back to the big map right here, this upper level low we were just watching on the 300 millibar map is getting very close to this Hurricane Blas. So they're having to blow this apart. And we'll just have to keep an eyewall. So there's a lot of strong flow right through this area. We can see the thunderstorms developing as a result of that hot air, transmitter generated hot air right in this area over Kansas. We've got Nebraska and part of Colorado right under these thunderstorms right out here. So when you force hot air down into cooler air, you get this kind of thing happening. These supercells develop. That's why we're having all this crazy weather. It's the weather controllers themselves that are creating all this crazy weather. It's not Mother Nature. Mother Nature seeks balance. You know, this planet is nearly 5 billion years old. If climate change was going to ruin the planet, it would have happened a long, long time ago, eons ago. The fact is, it's humans that have engineered and created and ruined the balance of the Earth and its weather cycles. And that's obvious. When weather people last night on Channel 7, KABC in Los Angeles, a guy named Dallas Raines told us that we're going to have another severe heat wave right around July 20th to the 25th. And I'm saying to myself, how does he know that? How do these guys know this? Well, only the people controlling our weather would know that information based on the strange things that we're pointing out every day here in these maps, because none of this is natural. That is the steering of this hurricane, the steering of that jet stream by creating a blockade around this low pressure area here. That's forcing this. So all these things in totality tell us very clearly that this is not natural weather, and only the people controlling it would be able to disseminate the forecast 2 or 3 weeks out to the viewers. So that's just something to think about. We'll go ahead and leave it right here, and we'll do another update later on. That's it.